LSU football television schedule. All right, because I would say, and I'd argue that we're probably the place that cares the most about kickoff times. We don't want to play a lot of games in the sunlight. We certainly don't want to play any home games in the sunlight. I am not Big Ten Bob, who likes to play marquee games at brunch. That is dumb. That makes no sense to me. And I want to go out there and have the full experience of an all-day tailgate. Let that thing buzz up to an 11 before you kick it off under the lights in Tiger Stadium. I know, I've been on social media, and there's so many, former Big Ten players, current Big Ten players, people like nothing's better than a noon kickoff, and then you can go out to the bars afterwards. It's dumb. No, you just tailgate all day, and then you go to it, and then you still go to the bars afterwards, because no big game should ever be kicked off while pancakes and waffles are still being served, okay? So that's what we look for. All right, so some of these we already knew, but we'll go down the full list. Alondra, Tate, if y'all want to react to one, certainly just jump in here. We know at Clemson, going to be on ABC. It's going to be a 6:30 p.m. local kick. Week number 2 versus La Tech. That's going to be on ESPN and the SEC Network Plus, 6:30 again, versus Florida, right? Remember, an early Florida game. That one's typically in October. It is going to be the 3rd game of the year, September the 13th, at home, ABC, 6:30 p.m., local kick. Thank God. That game always needs to be under the lights when it's the Tigers and the Gators.
Love that. The two that I think of, 2007, obviously, and then 2019 when Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, and them were here. Every Florida game I think of at home, at night.
At night, yeah. When Jaden goes off, at night. 2019, the one you're talking about, it was at night. Go all the way back to our game in 07. That game was at night. We played them at home during the day in 05, and we beat them. And it doesn't feel the same when you play that team and you beat them during the day. Now, the one that TDP set the rushing record, I didn't care when that one was being played. That was awesome. That was incredible.
That was at 11 a.m., or was it?
It was an early. I think it was noon.
Okay.
I think it was like a noon kick or whatever. And they ran counter about 47 straight times, and
just
Mashburn playing tight end, and nobody
Mashburn
could stop it. It was incredible. It's football erotica right there, running counter, and they knew it was coming, and they couldn't do anything about it. And this big, pretty in his uniform edge rusher that thought he was really, really good, and by the end of it, he's tapping out, please stop running this play towards me. Then we got the Tay Bowl versus Southeastern on the SEC Network. That's going to be
in trouble.
That's going to be a 6:45 kickoff. And then, you got at Ole Miss. That's going to be on September the 27th. That is going to be a flex game. So flex games can be 2:30, 3:30, 5, 7. All right, so all those are Central Time, by the way. So it could be a day game, but not going to be the noon game. Same situation versus South Carolina at home. That's going to be a flex game, so one of those windows. But, again, not a noon kick. Now, at Vanderbilt, that is going to be an early kick. That is going to be one of those brunch time games. And LSU fans, last time you went there, you sold them out of beer. But just be careful. This one's going to be an early boy. Probably going to be a little hot there in Nashville. That's a trip that a lot of LSU fans are always – every away team for Vanderbilt is going to make that trip. Nashville booming. We all know that. So if you're going to go to that one, go to GoFlow, get some My High, and get hydrated. But I don't mind that one being early. It's on the road, whatever.
So I prefer the road games at 11 a.m. a lot of
now
times.
Now that I'm working and calling the games, yeah.
Well, just because everybody says, okay, well, it's 11 a.m., the home crowd's not in it. Yeah, that's my point. I'd prefer to play a road one early.
Texas A&M at home, that's going to be on October 25th. That's going to be in that same flex time that we talked about with Ole Miss and South Carolina. At Alabama, that one is going to be at night. So you're going to get a prime time kickoff. No surprise there. That's just what that game typically always is. Versus Arkansas, the only early game you're going to have at home. That is going to be an 11 a.m. or a noon, kick. That's going to be an early one in Tiger Stadium against the Razorbacks. So the only one you have, because then it goes to Western Kentucky. That's actually going to be a night game. And then at Oklahoma is in that flex spot as well. So only 2 early games at Vanderbilt versus Arkansas. It could be worse. I don't love any of those early kicks like that at home, but if you only get one, it's against Arkansas. That game has been played early before. As long as it's not one of the marquee ones, as long as it's not Florida, as long as it's not Ole Miss, as long as it's not Alabama, I'm okay with that one.
One early
if you're
home
gonna get
game.
one.
Yeah, one early home game because Vandy's on the road. Like, has that ever happened? Maybe a few times. Not in recent history. Yeah.
So again,
you usually get 2 or 3.
Yeah, you could get some day games. You could get some of those 2:30 games. But again, the only early game, right, the only like 11 a.m. situation you're going to get at home is Arkansas. So that is kind of the TV schedule for LSU football. Just not even really looking at the TV portion of it, but just kind of looking at what it is. It plays out pretty nicely for you. You look at your home games. You look at your away games. You look at how they're formatted. It's what we always look at. It's going to be every opportunity for LSU to make that run that we're talking about.